Alright people, so I'm here with a review of Smackdown. A late review, but nonetheless a review. And whenever I put up reviews a couple of days late, they seem to get like half the views that they would if I put it up like right after the show. But I don't really give a shit. I just like talking about my opinions on all these fucking shows. So yeah, I'll get into the review right here. Uh, so to start off the show, we have REIGNS and RUSEV coming out to cut a promo. It was short, but it was alright. Um, it was sort of pointless though, since they were having a match earlier or later in the show. I sort of expected a little bit more from an opening segment. It's like, it was pretty short, so usually an opening segment is like 10 or 15 minutes long and has some action in there, or at least some good promo work, or it should at least. But they like teased a little bit of a fight, and it didn't accumulate into anything, that noteworthy or anything. But it was, the promo was okay, so, it wasn't horrible. Then you get AJ defeating Cameron in another okay segment, or I guess this was a match. It was, I'll give it 2.5 out of 5 stars. The problem I have though is like, Cameron was like throwing her makeup at AJ. Isn't that DQ? Isn't that a foreign object? I mean, refs do this all. They've been doing this lately. It's like, they'll have interference, like obvious interference from somebody, and then it's like right in front of the ref's face, and you won't even call it DQ. I mean, this was fucking a foreign object. Why isn't it DQ? I mean, it should be a DQ, but it wasn't, and I probably would have enjoyed it. Enjoyed it to have it be a DQ, because that means we get the match over with faster. But I guess that, it wasn't like it was a horrible match or anything. As I said, 2.5 out of 5 stars. But I mean, most Divas matches you just want to get over with because you don't give a shit about the Divas. Then we get Adam Rose defeating Fandango. Pure bullshit here. I mean, just sucked. Fandango gets counted out when the girls start fighting. I'll give it no stars. And they started like dancing after, I believe, and so now Fandango gets no bitches. Poor Fandango though. So yeah, I didn't really enjoy it. The result. The girls, both of them leave Fandango, and apparently now they're best friends. I mean, they've been fighting over the past month, but apparently now they're best friends. So yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, no stars out of 5. I mean, there was nothing going on in the fucking match, really. Then the Usos defeat Titus and Heath Slater. They're like, oh, Titus and Heath have formed a tag team. They've dropped their the other people on their tag team, and they formed their own. It's like, what? Just two jobbers decide to randomly hook up to form a tag team. But whatever. This match was boring. Give it 3/4 out of 5 stars. I mean, just a shit ass match here. Short chopper match. Then they do a promo, a retarded ass promo after the match, where one of the Usos is like calling commentary on, like, oh, this is gonna be the commentary on our next, when we're facing the Wyatts at Battleground. This is gonna be what it sounds like. And he's just doing a retarded ass commentary voice, commentating like a tard and doing a bunch of shit. And then, they finally get, oh, the Usos won, that's what they say, the Usos, in their promo, like, to signify that, oh, we won, it was stupid. And JBL's like, that was only one fall. I laughed at that. That was pretty funny there. Then like, the Usos start, like, hugging the announcer. I don't know his first name. I know his last name's Saxton. They start hugging him. I thought they were gonna, do something sexual, but thank God they didn't. The Usos are just weird people. I would not like to be around them. I question their sexuality. After this segment, they seem gay, and then they were hugging Saxton. I thought they were gonna make a move on him. The Usos are just fucking weird ass motherfuckers who might be gay. So that segment was bad, really bad. It was beyond bad, actually. Yeah, really, really bad. Then we get Orton defeating Y2J, and hey, You know, a turnaround from the last segment. A good match. Pretty good match here. 3 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it. Ending was stupid with the Wyatt music. You know, they've been doing this a lot. Just stupid fucking endings, like a slight distraction, and you know, then the other person who's distracted, who isn't the person who's not distracted wins. Just so they play the music, or I think it like went dark or something, and then Orton hits the RKO and the match is over. But didn't like the ending, but the match quality was good, so I give it 3 out of 5 stars. Um, then we get Layla, or no, this was where they started dancing. I was saying they were dancing back in the last segment, but this is where we get Layla defeating, or Layla and Summer Rae. You know, and Fandango was a guest referee. Not that good. I'm not gonna rate it because it wasn't really that big of a match. I don't even think it ended. I think it was like a no decision. Then they beat up Fandango at the end, and then they start dancing. You know what they should do with this fucking, you know, and this is where Fandango loses his bitches, so yeah, poor Fandango. You know what they should do with this fucking feud, or program, whatever you want to call it? Make Layla and Summer Rae lesbian lovers. How entertaining would that be to see two hot chicks fucking making out? I mean, that is what they should do. I know that's unrealistic though, because it's the PG era. That's what I would do if I ran WWE. Then Goldust defeats Curtis Axel. Boring, and also fucking Cody Rhodes is, or my bad guys, Stardust, just running around the ring like a fucking asshole, just distracting, you know, us from our fucking match. You know, he reminds me of like the people who fucking, I don't know if you see people doing this, but like I live in Michigan, and all the time there's like people on the side of the road like mascots, or just people holding up signs like advertising for the business, and it's just distracting. You know, Cody Rhodes is like that person, just distracting. I couldn't fucking pay attention to the match half the time because Cody Rhodes is jumping all over the fucking place. It's like, can we just watch the fucking match? I know it's his fucking gimmick, but please, I just want to watch the fucking match. So, you know, Cody's distracting, but from what I saw, the match wasn't that good. I'll give it 1.25 out of 5 stars. Then Bo cuts a promo, says he's handy capable of winning this 2-on-1 handicap match. And then he says everybody's his tag partner, even though he's outmatched, so he's gonna win. And I sort of found it a little bit funny. Then Bo defeats Torito in one of the Matadores. Stupid match. I give it 1 out of 5 stars. Then Bo attacks the Bull after the match. It was kind of funny, I guess, but not really. I mean, I've seen funnier from Bo Dallas, but it's not like it was horrible either. So, I mean, a little bit funny, I guess. Then let me get Reigns and Rusev, and of course, ends in DQ again. Figures, you know, all these fucking matches now ending in fucking DQ. The match sucked. It was boring. I'll give it like a half star out of 5. I mean, I literally like fell asleep. I was like zoning out for this fucking match. I mean, it was just so boring. Just so fucking boring. Rest hold. I think there was 3 rest holds in here. Oh my, just a boring ass match. You know? So, didn't have like that match. Thought it was stupid, boring, and yeah, I was just sleeping. I was sleeping during the fucking match. I mean, you know, they're always trying to find ways to fucking put babies to sleep. I mean, they're always crying during the night. Put on a Randy Orton, or put on a Roman Reigns match. I mean, that'll bore kids right to fucking sleep. It bored me to sleep. So there you go, people. There's your Smackdown review. The show wasn't that good. I'll give it 2.5 out of 10 stars. I mean, you had one good match in there between Jericho and Orton, and everything else pretty much sucked. So there you go, people. There's your Smackdown review.